Welcome back to another video, my brothers. Today's video is titled 10 Traits of High Value Men. So if you want to become a high value man, make sure you stay until the end of this video and give it a like right now, because you know I'm about to drop some gems. Let's get straight into it. The first point is they delay gratification. They don't care about impressing random strangers with fancy watches and a financed BMW M4. They don't care about that. Because deep down inside, they know that if they engage in living that lifestyle too soon, they won't truly appreciate it. And I'll tell you guys from, my personal experience. When I was 19, 20, 21, I was stupid with money. I wanted to buy shit that I knew I couldn't afford. But because it would make me look better and it would impress people. And it always led to a lot of stress. It did, because deep down inside, I was like, man, what the fuck am I doing? That's after I bought it, by the way. I had buyer's remorse. Why did I buy it? And then I had to deal with the whole headache of making sure that I could afford the monthly payments. And I did that with many things. I was buying gadgets on finance. I bought a fucking BMW that I didn't really need to buy, but I wanted to buy it because, oh man, it's sick. I speak to a lot of young guys right now, and they tell me, man, I'm going to get this, BMW or Merc. I'm like, bro, you don't need it right now, man. You're 20. And the likelihood of you having established or figured out your life's purpose is very low. You're going to be bouncing around from job to job. And you're going to have some stressful times ahead if you're not careful, because you'll lose this job. And these car finance companies are going to be chasing you for the money. You think they're going to leave you alone? Hell no. They'll come take your car off you. And then they'll still charge you for the car, even after they've taken it from you. Okay? So look, high value men delay gratification. They understand, you know what? Yes, that lifestyle is out there for me. But right now, I've got better things to do. I've got more important decisions to make. Instead of spending this much money on dumb shit, I'm going to reinvest that money into my business to better myself. I'm going to invest money in courses, in meeting highly successful people, learning from them, educating myself. Okay? So that's point number one. Point number two is they step out of their comfort zone and take risks. Most people tiptoe through life only to arrive safely at death. Bob Proctor said that, right? Another saying is most people die at 25 and are only buried at 75. Okay, they decide to make safe, calculated decisions that will prevent them from being hurt and from being bruised. That's what they think. They think, this way I'll protect myself. But what kind of a life is that? Huddled in the corner, wrapping yourself in bubble wrap. That's not a life. Now, I get it. Not everybody wants to be the next Mark Zuckerberg and, build $1 billion company. I get that. But just try harder, See what could happen if you tried to open a business around something you're interested in. And give it an actual go. A good swing at bat. Because what you don't want is to be older and think back or reflect back on your life and think, what if? What if I did try and open a business when I was 23? Selling skateboards or selling whatever, man, whatever you were into at the time. You don't want to be looking back with regret, because you could have lived a remarkable life. And look, taking risks could propel you from, let's say, a $60,000 a year income to $150,000. Because you don't have to be a billionaire. I'm not saying everybody wants to go out there and build $1 billion company, but just having that aggression in you, that desire for more, could significantly improve the quality of your life. Okay? So taking risks is a quality that all high value men have. Okay? The next trait is they treat their body with the utmost respect. They don't allow their physical condition to deteriorate over time. They don't gain excessive amounts of fat. They don't walk around with 40% body fat. Why the fuck are you doing that? As a grown man. 40% body fat. What kind of example is that to your kids if you have kids? You know, they look at dad and, oh, dad's fucking fat as hell. Come on, man. First of all, you should be in great physical condition for you because your health is on the line. But also, if you have kids, for example, you want to be around in the future for your kids. You don't want to create such a physical stress on your body that you end up needing multiple surgeries because of a lifestyle decision, by the way. Look, people can die from random diseases. I completely understand that, right? And I have sympathy for that. But there are diseases that are induced as a result of poor lifestyle choices, such as excessive eating, right? Overindulging. Because the reality is, if you've gained a lot of fat, it's because you're overeating. You don't need to eat that much. You don't. But you're overeating and you're not exercising. Okay, so you're completely destroying your body. High value men understand that it starts with your health. Health is wealth, and you've probably heard that many times, okay? It absolutely is, because what good is your money if you're morbidly obese and you can't walk 2 steps without feeling breathless? Your heart hurts every single day. You're sweating non-stop because you're carrying all that weight around, and your body's like, man, this shit is tiring. Fucking lose some weight, buddy. We're dying over here. Your organs are like, ugh. Fuck, you got to keep pumping blood around this fucking enormous whale's body. Okay? Crushing your organs, mate. Plus your sex life is ruined. I mean, no woman is excited about the prospect of being in bed and a morbidly obese man approaches her. I mean, that's kind of scary, you know. And I'm not a woman, you know, so I'll never have to experience that. But, you know, scary to think of a morbidly obese man taking his shirt off, if he can, that is. If he's not, you know, if his arms can't exactly grab onto his shirt, and, you know, you want to go to the beach, you want to take your shirt off, you want to go for a swim, but you can't if you're morbidly obese. Okay, so high value men understand it starts with health. They treat their body with the utmost respect. When you get into great physical condition, every other aspect of your life improves. Your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your risk-taking ability. If you're fat, if you're morbidly obese, you feel ashamed of yourself. Your self-esteem is crushed. Your desire to take risk is diminished. Okay? In fact, you can't even take risks because you are at risk. You know, and plus if you go to a business meeting and you're looking to secure a deal potentially with a group of investors and you walk in there morbidly obese, come on, man. They're not going to take you seriously. I'm sorry, bro. I'm telling you the harsh truth. It starts with the way you present yourself. If you're in shape, I'm not saying you got to look like Ronnie Coleman, you know, or you got to be 7% body fat all year round. No. But if you're between 10 to 15% body fat, you hit the gym and you lift weights 3 to 5 times a week. Maybe the other days of the week you go for a run. That's great, man. Okay? So reduce that body fat. I'm speaking from experience. I did. I was 25.8% body fat back in November 2022. I didn't like the way I looked. I was like, this is unacceptable. And I was going to the gym several times a week. But my nutrition habits were poor. So I decided to embark on a transformational journey. And I was like, you know what? Going forward, Ali, you cannot fucking do this anymore, man. Can't allow your body to look this shit. You know, my shirts were too tight on me. I felt like I had breasts going on. I was like, come on, man. You're a grown man, 27 years old. You should be looking incredible. You're wasting your prime years out of shape. Okay? And it's never too late to turn around. I don't want this to be a doom and gloom conversation. I want you to be like, you know what? I could turn this shit around, and I could turn it around quickly, because you can. You can lose weight relatively quickly. Okay? Now, obviously, if you're morbidly obese, to undo the damage, it will take a lot longer. But if you're, 10 kilograms overweight, you can lose 10 kilograms in 3 months very easily. Okay? Anyways, that's the health one. The next trait is they walk away from women that do not respect them. A lot of guys go through, terrible relationships. They're with women that just do not respect them. And it's painful to see. It's absolutely painful. And look, we've all been there. And, it's important to realize that you're not being respected, to be aware of it. You know, a lot of guys don't really feel that they're being disrespected because they're just so clouded by emotions. Oh, but she's amazing. You know, look, it doesn't matter if she has aspects of her personality that may be good if overall she treats you like a piece of shit. Okay? How do you feel when you're in that relationship, man? If you feel drained all the time, if you feel, you know, not appreciated, if she's insulting you on a regular basis, bro, you shouldn't be in that relationship. Get the fuck out of it, man. You know, women will, there's a phrase called shit test, which means to test a man's strength and basically his ability to draw boundaries, draw a line in the sand. Okay? They will see how much they can get away with. And a lot of weak men do not enforce boundaries with women. Now, when I say enforce boundaries, I don't mean physical. No, I'm not saying that. But as in, hey, I don't respect that. You let a woman know straight up, you can't treat me like this. I'm not going to take it. Maybe those other chumps that you've been with before, yeah, maybe you could get your way with them, but not me. Right? You draw a line in the sand. Otherwise, women will feel like they can get away with anything, and they will just continue to disrespect, and the levels of disrespect will increase. It will start off small, and then she will just take you for a ride. And after she takes you for a ride, she will dump your ass, and you will feel broken. Okay? And we all learn from our mistakes, man. Well, I say we all learn from our mistakes. We all make mistakes, shall I say. Learning from our mistakes, that's a different thing. We should learn from our mistakes. Going forward, if you had a terrible experience with a woman going forward, you should ensure that, you know what? And by the way, it's not always the woman's fault. If she disrespects you, yes, it's not nice when somebody disrespects you, but you've allowed for that to happen, essentially. Through not saying anything. You've brushed it under the carpet to preserve peace or because you want some ass. And over time, that problem is magnified. What do they say? Problems ignored are problems magnified. Okay? So you might think, oh, I'm just going to preserve some peace, man. I don't want to have any arguments. That will come back to haunt you later on. I'll tell you that. Okay? So if there is a problem, you let her know. I'm not, just because a woman disrespects you, doesn't mean she's not the right woman. Because like I said, initially, she will try and see where your boundaries are at. She'll shit test you. And it could be something really small. But it's up to you as a man to say, hey, I don't appreciate that, sweetheart. And you can say that in a very loving way. You don't have to raise your voice and start chucking shit around the house. No, don't be that guy. That's fucking weird. Okay? So, going back to the point, high-value men walk away from situations that do not serve them. And I believe I can speak for most of you guys that watch the channel. I don't have a list of 1,001 things that a woman should be in order to be with me. I'm not unrealistic. Right? As long as she's respectful, kind, supportive, feminine, then really, that's all I look for. And has a fat personality. Okay? Absolutely fat, juicy personality. You know, funny, you know, passionate about whatever she's passionate about, whether it's poetry, whatever, it doesn't matter, man. I like seeing that. Okay? I like seeing a woman who's into something. So, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. The next trait is that they are a source of strength for their family. That stoic figure. That dependable individual. You know, you want to be there for your mother, for your sister, for your younger brothers. Right? And obviously for your old man. You know, my dad always used to tell me that he wants me to be better than him. You know, he says, I haven't done my job as a father unless you become better than me. And, you know, and that really has stuck with me. You know, become that source of strength. Become that stoic individual that's dependable, that's there for his family. Because at some point, your father may not be around in your life, and your mother too. So you will have to be that leader for your family, for your siblings. Okay? The next trait is that they work hard regardless of how they feel. They're not into their feelings. Oh, but I'm sad today. I'm not going to work. I'm going to have a day off. It's raining. No, they get up and they get going. Because they understand, hey, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I can't only work when I feel like it. Life's hard. There will be days where, you just don't want to do anything. There will be days where you don't feel like yourself, but you got to show up. That's just the life as a man for you. We don't get the privilege of, just doing nothing and being taken care of. If anything, as a man, if you don't get off your ass and you go out there and you work hard every single day, you become invisible. You become shamed for your lack of action. And you know what? You should be. If you're a man and you're not carrying your weight, you're not taking care of your family because you don't feel good, I feel sad, then you should be shamed for it. That burden of performance is something that us men have to embrace. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on our backs. Yeah, when it comes to marriage, we are the ones that have to have our lives in absolute order. I'm talking about you got to be in the right place. You got to have your life's purpose figured out. You got to be financially in a good position. You have to constantly think about protecting your family. There's a lot on the line. But that pressure is something we should embrace as men. We shouldn't fear it, okay? The next trait is that they express gratitude for all the good in their life. And they recognize that when things don't go their way, it's often a learning experience. They're not bitter and resentful. They understand, okay, you know what? What is this trying to teach me? It's not, I'm unlucky, nothing good ever happens. Because that's what a lot of guys resort to. The moment one little thing happens wrong, then apparently their entire existence is just meaningless and they're the most unlucky person in the world. No, you're choosing to become a victim when you think this way. And, expressing gratitude is something I started doing in my own life. I would probably say about a year and a half ago. Like consciously choosing to become grateful every single day. Not occasionally, choosing every single day to wake up and think, you know what, I'm still alive. Alhamdulillah, my family's alive. Yeah, I'm not making the money that I want to make yet, but there's progress, man. This is happening, this is good. Because a lot of the times you don't realize how much good is happening in your life unless you sit down and you actually think about it, and then you start writing it down. Okay, this is going for me, I've got a car, this and that. You start writing down a lot of the good things. I secured a client last week, I did it. And then you realize after half an hour of thinking of all the good in your life, there's actually quite a lot. I know some of you right now are going to be watching this thinking, no, my life's shit. I encourage you to sit down, play your favorite music, get a notepad out and just write down all the good in your life. Just think about it, okay? Because I assure you, there are people around the world that are praying, dreaming of living the life that you currently live like right now, that would instantly trade places with you. Oh man, if I could just have his life with his shit car, whatever it is, man, I don't even have a car. Man, I have to walk 5 miles to get to the closest source of fresh water. Man, I don't have to worry about being chemically attacked by a military, an oppressive force. There are people out there, man, that would kill to be in your position. Now, I'm not saying that if you have bad days that, you shouldn't feel any emotion. No, embracing your emotional state. When I say embracing your emotional state, I mean, okay, if you're sad, experience the sadness. It will go away. Don't ignore it. You're a human being. You're not a robot. Okay, but don't decide to be emotional non-stop. For example, guys tell me, Ali, what do I do when I'm sad? Should I tell my girlfriend that I'm sad and everything? And I just tell them, listen, bro, just experience the sadness. Sit in your car for 10 minutes. Feel whatever you're feeling in that moment. And then get the fuck out your car and get into the gym. Or do whatever you were about to do anyways. Don't suppress that emotional state, but also don't become a victim of it. I'm sad. It must be because I'm depressed. Because then that will lead to a series of bad decisions. And you'll end up being a victim, okay? Number 8, another trait is being willing to get punched in the face. As in, they are willing to go out there onto the battlefield and learn, even if it means getting hurt in the process. And one of the best examples of that is practicing a form of combat sports. Boxing being the best example I could give you right now. The average person can't throw a punch, can't defend themselves. So once you start boxing, once you start sparring, you'll realize, shit, man, I'm actually quite incompetent at this shit. I need to get better. But the only way to get better is to be willing to get hit. And this also applies to other disciplines, such as sales, for example. You know, when you start making calls, you're going to start to realize very quickly that, damn, not everybody wants my service. If anything, you will experience a lot of negative people. A lot of people will be like, hey, stop calling me. They'll hang up on you midway through you speaking, you know, and you'll think to yourself, fucking hell, okay. But it will teach you a great deal. It will toughen you up. And the reason why a lot of guys are emotional and, you know, entitled is because no one's ever told them no. It's almost like they've been treated like a little princess their entire life. Not everybody's going to like you. And don't break down completely if somebody does reject you one day. Whether that's in a romantic sense, a woman saying, nah, you're not my type. Because there's a lot of guys that will be like, no, you're just a bitch, you're a hoe, I didn't like you anyways, you know, and they'll just crumble. Or a lot of guys will start a business, they'll call 10 people, potentially, you know, investors or suppliers, and they'll all say, nah, I don't want to work with you. And they'll just completely crumble. I guess business ain't for me. 10, that's it. Mate, when I was in my first telesales job, I was making 300 phone calls a day, 300. And there are guys that will quit trying after 10 phone calls. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Toughen up. Okay, and then number 9, only getting into a relationship once they have, number 1, identified their purpose, and number 2, they can protect and provide for their family. Okay, you know, look, I believe that companionship is a beautiful thing. I believe that having a respectful, caring, kind woman will make a man better. I absolutely believe that. However, I do not encourage men to get into a long-term relationship with a woman when they're not happy with the lives they're living right now. You know, for example, you're out of shape, you're a fat bastard, you're broke as hell, you haven't figured out what you want to do with your life. Because I promise you this, yeah, as much as I want you to have female companionship and for you to experience a loving, caring relationship, I want that for you, man. I do. It's beautiful. It's one of the greatest joys in life. Absolutely is. But if you're not ready, it will be absolute hell. It will be. You will hate yourself because you're not able to give this woman what you want to give her. Now, I know there's a lot of people that will preach things like, you know, build together, you know, power couple, start from humble beginnings. We don't live in that world. Stop watching these Disney movies. Okay, we live in a world where you go to ask for a woman's hand in marriage. You go to ask the father, hey, I want to marry your daughter. He's going to be like, okay, well, the fuck have you got to offer? You know, what's your life like? And fathers should say that, by the way. But also, okay, let's just say you are able to scrape by. Is that the kind of dynamic you want to have from the beginning? You're struggling with money. Your woman's like, oh, let's go here. You're like, oh, sorry, I can't. And there's only so many I can'ts that a woman can take before she's like, you know what, why the fuck did I marry this guy? Okay? So I'm not saying that you should only think about getting into a long-term relationship once you're a millionaire. No. But establish your life's purpose. Get a good, regular income going for yourself. Put some money aside so you have that safety net. Genuinely enjoy the life that you're living. You know, you go on holiday with the broskies, right? You're able to do things that you want to do as well. You know, enjoy your single life. I'm not saying until you're 40, no, I'm not saying that, okay? But if you're able to get those things in order at 23, 24, fantastic. Go ahead and get married, bro. But most men need a bit more time. And I know, you know, religiously, for example, I'm a Muslim, and a lot of the elderly folks will say, get married, God will provide. Okay, I completely understand that, okay? And I do have faith in God. But also, you have to think logically as well, okay? Am I in a position to take care of a woman financially? Can I pay for all the bills without stressing? Because as a man, you should pay for the rent, you know, water bills, council tax, right? Gas and electricity, all of that stuff you should be able to pay for yourself completely. You shouldn't be like, honey, can you pay? Nah, man, you want to be in a position to be like, babe, I can take care of all this stuff. You don't have to worry when you're with the big G, you know? So high value men get their life in order before they bring a woman into it. And last but not least, they are exceptional communicators. When you are an exceptional communicator, you live an exceptional life. You're able to just attract situations into your life. You're able to attract incredible connections, incredible people into your life. Because ultimately what you say will determine how far you go in life. The way you communicate, your charisma. You know, and I've made videos before on the types of communication, you know, verbal, non-verbal. But it's very important. You know, people will judge you, of course, based off how you look, but then also what comes out of your mouth. It could be the make or break between you, you know, earning $20,000 a year or 70 or 80, the way you present yourself. So practice becoming a good communicator. I'll give you some tips right now before I end this video. You know, observe some of the greatest communicators out there. Watch how they use their body when they talk. Okay, watch how they pause in between answering. Okay, you know, you see this a lot with Jordan Peterson, for example. He'll, you know, pause to think about what he's going to say. Okay? So observe, listen to audiobooks, and then actually put yourself in positions where you have to communicate on a regular basis. Public speaking is something that I've done over the years, which has served me in invaluable ways. It's been absolutely life-changing for me. So if you can, if you're in a position where you can attend public speaking events, do that. Toastmasters is a great environment for you to do that. You're around a large group of people and they all have a similar goal, to improve the way that they communicate. Okay? So these are the 10 traits. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I know it was a longer video, but I wanted to provide you with as much value as possible. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace and love. Take care.